Welcome. I'm Verne Harnish, author of Scaling Up, and I want to talk to you a little bit about training and development. Many of you are familiar with our growth tools. We have one called FACE, the Function Accountability Chart. And we emphasize, like Jim Collins, that you've got to have the right butts in the right seats. The challenge was there wasn't a list of seats, so we put one together. And what's interesting, whether you're a startup to a $50 billion scale up, you've got to have every one of these functioning well in the organization. And if there's a weakness that we see that's consistent among almost all scale-ups, is that they're lacking a really robust training and development organization. And so what I want to talk to you about is the 4 reasons why you need this. The optics, the ROI, the ease, and the value. First, the optics. Look, if you want to attract the best A-player talent, and right now there's a huge shortage that we're trying to compete for, but it's always been a shortage of A-player talent, you need just the perceptions to be right. I was visiting in an M&A firm this week, and they had a shuffleboard table and they had a little golfing range, and I was there all day and I didn't see anybody at all playing it, but the fact that it was there, the optics are important if you want to attract the right talent. The same with your training and development. And look, what you want are people who are thirsty for learning. And by having that show on your website, the fact that you've got over 100 courses that you can offer. I know in hiring just my latest executive assistant, one of the things that convinced her to join us versus anyone else is that she was going to have an opportunity to go through our master courses and those 100 other courses. And particularly for the young people that you're trying to attract, the research is clear. This is the #1 thing that they're looking for inside an organization. In addition, many of our clients using our Scaling Up tools have been very successful in winning Best Place to Work awards. It's kind of crazy. A lot of the selection committees will say, wow, the fact that you've got a 1-page plan, that you're doing the daily huddle, that you've got all of these KPIs. We don't see that in companies 10 times your size. And the same with having and showing that you've got a robust training development department. Hilton, which has been named the best place to work the last 2 years. We're talking about over the Googles and the Microsofts and all of that. They've been #1. And the #1 reason, because they provide robust training and development, particularly for their frontline employees. By the way, Hilton's been using many of our online courses in order to provide that. And so you want to really get the optics right and just have this available crazily, even if nobody's going to use it, as a reason for people to select to work for you than the competition. The second reason you want a robust training and development offering starts with a very simple question. Would you rather have a lot of low-paid dumb people, or would you rather have a lot less better-paid smart people? Look, the research is clear that the ROI on a marginal dollar spent on training and development is higher than the ROI on any other investment you can make, whether it's CapEx, inventory, R&D. And the numbers that we're talking about is roughly 3% of payroll. So calculate your payroll, multiply it times 3%, and that is what the best organizations are investing. And here's what I want you to think about. Having this payroll is like having hardware with no software installed or updated if you're not providing robust training and development. And so that is the return on investment. The third reason to have a robust training and development offering like what we provide at the Growth Institute, our all access MBD, is really the ease. Look, first of all, let's realize nobody seems to be reading anymore. Everyone's wanting to watch videos, particularly short videos. And so we designed all of our courses, the short ones and the long ones, into bite-sized video pieces designed to really match the way people want to be trained today. And it allows people to kind of pick around at it at their own pace, which leads to #2. I want you to really focus on providing it to everybody in the organization, not just the senior leadership. And we're talking about roughly an hour a month. If your employees can just pick one course that they would enjoy for an hour every month, you're going to be ahead of 90% of your competition. And by the way, the learning management system that we've designed, which by the way would cost normally about $5,000 a month if you were to get one externally, is included as part of this offering, and it allows you to load up any one of your courses. And I can tell you, my son, 25-year-old son who came from one of the #1 design schools in Europe, has been going through the courses, and he said, wow, the ease of use, the fact that you've made it so we can speed it up without kind of the chipmunk voices, is allowing him to consume our Master of Business Dynamics himself. And again, being young, he's excited to get this kind of training. And fourth, what's the overall value of this training and development offering? Look, if we could start with just having all the knowledge in the world dumped inside everyone's brains, that would be ideal, because every single decision that you're making, you'd love every employee to be able to tap into that universal knowledge base. The reality is, that's not today. So instead, what you want to do is think about it this way. If every employee and every one of your senior leaders is taking at least one different course, it's their collective intelligence, it's the diversity of their collective knowledge being brought to bear that's going to make ultimately better decisions in the organization. And so our focus is really every senior leader taking one master course a year, and every employee, again, choosing 1 hour course every month. And that diversity of collective intelligence will really allow you to outlearn the competition. And I want you to think about it as just making everybody in the organization 1% better every week, and therefore compound interest is your friend. And again, all of this, the optics, the ROI, the ease, and this value for $5,000 a month for the entire organization.